The United States withdrawal from Afghanistan ended in tragedy for 13 members of the U.S. military. The communities of Rio Bravo and Laredo were devastated to learn that they lost hometown hero, Marine Lance Corporal David Lee Espinoza. We are proud and honored that David's mother, Elizabeth Holguin, and father, Victor Manuel Dominguez, agreed to sit down and talk to us about their son. They started by telling us about David's childhood.
Well, as far as we can remember, is like when he was 3 years old. We actually have some pictures. He was always playing. He had those little plastic guns, and they were like pistols. And we even have pictures where he's even aiming at it. He's got one closed one eye. He's got one eye closed, and he's aiming through it like he's, I guess he's shooting at something. But he was always playing with guns. As he got older, he would use, if he was outside, he would use like little sticks, pretend that was his gun. If he was in the house, it would be hangers, to hang clothes. He would use those. Anything, pencils, anything he could get a hold of, that was his gun. And then eventually, as he got older, he fell in love with the Nerf guns. And he'd be in here shooting at everybody with those things, with the Nerf guns at us or at brothers and sisters. So that was one thing that I think he'd always interested in, in guns. When he was about 10 or 11 years old, we even got him a BB gun for Christmas, and he would use that outside, and shoot cans or stuff like that. But he was always interested in some sort of, with guns. So we figured someday he was going to do something with it,
David's father talked about the close bond they shared.
Well, I came into his life when he was 3 years old, and from then on, it started little by little, as a dad getting close to him. But yeah, I mean, ever since I can remember, when we were in North Dakota and the snow and everything outside at 3 years old, he would always want to be with me outside, even though it was cold and everything and snow, and he was always with me. When I changed the oil in the car, he'd be outside helping me. And eventually, when he got old enough, when he turned 16, he ended up going with me to Missouri and to work over there with me. And we ended up spending, that's when we really bonded the most, I think, because it was just me and him. My wife and my other children stayed behind, and it was just me and him. And that's the first time he worked, and we got really close because, any conversation, everything we had, it was just me and him. Like 13 or 14, he kept telling us that we kept bringing it up towards him and telling him, what was he gonna do? Because he was a freshman in high school, and telling him, what are you gonna do after high school? You're gonna go to college? What are you gonna do with your life? And he didn't want to continue school after high school, and so he kept, a few conversations we'd have. He'd say, well, I'll just go work with you. You've been working there for a long time, so I'm pretty sure, I can work there. And he was an outside person, so I knew he could handle it, even though that's not what I wanted him to do. So eventually, when he turned 16 and he went there, he went with me to work. On our way back from Missouri after the season was done, I asked him about that. I said, so is this what you're going to do, when you finish high school? And he was like, what, this ain't for me. He wasn't, finally they understood it. Because he would see me leave and come back, and he thought, well, it's maybe something simple. It was actually there working. He realized what it was, and that's something he didn't want to do in his life.
Even now that he was already in the Marines, now he would tell us, after I get out, I'm gonna go to college. I'm gonna go to college. Like, he wanted to go to college after that, I guess at first it would be like you're young and you're like, nah, I just want to get over with school and I don't want to go to college and this and that. But once that you become an adult and you see life and everything, it's like he started like, no, now I do want to go to college. Like, he didn't want to go to college afterwards. He wanted to become a border patrol after he would get out of the military.
He matured a lot from the day he left our house to those 2 years that he was in the Marines. even though we didn't see him a lot, we had a lot of communication through phone, through FaceTime and all that with him. And he matured a lot, within those 2 years. And like my wife said, the college thing, he started talking, I want to do this, I want to try this, which was great. And we supported them from the beginning. And even when he was little, we've always supported whatever they wanted to do in their lives, as long as it's good.
Yeah.
David's parents fondly reminisced about his early experience with the Border Patrol in Rio Bravo.
When he was already in the military, and even before in high school, he wanted to be a Border Patrol. And when he was already in the military, he kept telling us that once he got done with this service, that he wanted to become a Border Patrol. And I have a kind of funny story of when he was a junior in high school and a senior, because he would jog the streets here in Rio Bravo because just stay in shape. So when the time came, he graduated high school and joined the Marines. He would be in shape, and sometimes in the evenings he would come home, and he'd come in the house and he'd be laughing. We'd look at him and we'd go, "What happened?" or "What was funny outside?" And he said, well, I was out there running, doing my exercise. He says, sometimes I think they thought that the Border Patrols thought that maybe, I wasn't illegal or something, because they would chase me. And I said, well, I was in shape, so I'd run faster than them. He goes, and then he'd come home and tell us about it. And that's pretty funny memories that we have of him when he was still in high school.
David's parents talked about how important they feel it is to instill good values in your children from an early age.
I think it's just part of growing up and trying for them to be better than us. We tried to give them what we could afford, but always, it's like always with lots of love, and like they would appreciate everything that we would be able to afford for them. They never even any little stuff. Even if you get them a little cookie or a candy, they would get so, I guess, they would get so excited and so happy. It's just, it's like they say, it's not about how much it costs or anything. It's like mainly like you give it to them with love and affection. So I think us growing up, we just wanted to give them the best and be the best parents we could, and support them in anything. I mean, in school, I even have some ¿cómo se dicen esos? No, I have this one's like
Words.
Yeah, like they gave them to me when they were in TMC as a migrant. It was a migrant Head Start. So they gave me this one, and I have another one where I would participate a lot with them, go with them, and just try to be there for them on the meetings, on everything involving school, the awards. And I actually I have several of them. This is one that they gave me on, back then it was called Teaching and Mentoring Communities. It was a Head Start by Sierra Vista. And I have another one. I have several of them that they would give me for being a volunteer, being the president of the what's it called? I can't remember.
What's he say? Yeah, like a committee.
Yeah, I was the president of the parent community. I'm sorry, I'm nervous.
It's okay.
But yeah, we would try. We would try our best to be there for them and support them, to just make the best for them.
Yeah, to add to that, man, that's being how we were with our children. It's like me, when I would leave 6 to 8 weeks, depending on the time. I knew I had 2 weeks to come home, or the whole time I've never worked November, December, and January. Those are my time off from work, because it's a winter and you can't plant nothing in the winter. And that time it was 100% dedicated to my kids. So even when they were in Juarez Lincoln, awards night or anything was, or they were in a play or something, we would always be there. And I always tell my wife, my biggest, I guess I can say, moments from them was seeing them when they were going to get an award or something. And then there's a line of kids, whether it's in the cafeteria or where they have their stage, and they're in line, and seeing my kids, raising their heads to see us where we were sitting. And it was a great moment because they knew that we were there for them. And like I said, whenever I was home, that was what it was. And me and my wife, yes, and of course she had more moments with them than me because she was here. But I made sure that when I was home, it was time, their time, as a father.
The parents talked about how they felt when David first told them he wanted to join the Marines.
Well, at first, I was scared, like any mother, if anything, any career that, that they would want to do, there's, it's just as a mother, I guess you have that, but we were supportive. Like, I would even take them to the PTCs and everything, I would take them, back and forth. Like, I would be very supportive. I'm sorry. I would be very supportive. I had to be because it was what he wanted to do. I just had to be as a mother.
Throughout David's deployment, he managed to be sure to keep in touch with his family.
When he got deployed, we had communication through FaceTiming or messages or calls that he would do through the messenger, stuff like that. He would call us and just let us know, how are you, mom or dad, or how is everybody, and he would talk to everybody, and he would tell us how it was going over there and this and that, and we did have a lot of communication. Whenever he was available, he would call us.
David loved to share with his close-knit family all the experiences he was having as a proud Marine.
He was first deployed. He didn't go to Afghanistan first. He was in another place at first, and it was pretty calm there. It wasn't much going on there. So it was just I guess another normal day, as in being here in the United States, back where he would be. But once he left, I think it had only been a week when he left to Afghanistan to help out before the accident happened. So, but we would have communication with him every time he could. We would FaceTime or text.
David's family talked about the night he tragically lost his life.
I actually found out through Facebook. I have a lot of mothers, Marine mothers, that we have a group, and I was working, and I had a 15-minute break. So I was having a little something to eat, and I started looking at my Facebook, and I saw that what the news had said. So I texted him right away and told him, did you see the news? Do you know what's going on? And this and that. And that was when we found out about the bombs. And after that, we couldn't be we were just nervous, We knew that the parents would be the first ones to find out within midnight or something around there. So I went to sleep at 10. He stayed up thinking, he went to sleep later on thinking that, maybe, I think we already cleared it, I think we're gonna be okay. My phone rings at 1:30 a.m. We knew. As soon as my phone rang, we knew because nobody calls me at that time for something. So we knew, and sure enough, they were outside. And
his family shared their experience of traveling to Virginia to meet the plane when David's body was flown back to the U.S.
The incident happened on Thursday, and then Friday, that's when they came and told us in the morning. And then on Saturday, it was Saturday, right?
Yeah, when we left.
Yeah, it was Saturday when we left. And we actually went to Dover, Virginia. And that's where we ended up seeing our son, when they brought him down from the planes. And before we actually went out there, we did see, we saw a lot of chief of staff and a lot of from the Pentagon and the White House. And then one of the last persons that came in was President Biden. And he said everybody that was greeting us there, the families, all 13 of us, because we were all there. they all said their condolences and greeted us and shook our hands, and after all that was, everybody went their turn and all that, and that's when we went outside and to see the arrival of our sons or husbands or children, to whoever they were related to. But yes, we ended up going there.
David's mother and father took comfort in the fact that they got to meet the 12 other families who also lost their loved ones.
We even have some of them in friends' Facebook now, so we kind of understand each other more, since we were all involved in the same incident. So yes, we met most of them. We had very little time to actually communicate with each other, but we had to do certain things. But any time that we did, we go speak to another family and try another one. So we did try to get around to the other 12 families while we were there.
Although the family knows their son is a hero, they were not prepared for the outpouring of support they've received from the community and from across the country. People have sent gifts and letters to express their condolences and to express their appreciation for their son's sacrifice.
Even when we were going and back on the planes, they even mentioned it, and it was amazing because this is a small town, small community. You don't think much of it. You just think, this is it, and you see, like you were talking about the outpouring. Yeah, it's more than anything. The biggest thing is, we feel so proud for our son because everything that was done, it was done for him. Yes, we are the parents, and he has his brothers and his sister, but the whole how he was honored, it was for him. So yes, we appreciate everything that was done, as his parents, but it was all done in his honor, but it was beautiful from start to finish. I mean, even when we stopped at LBJ in their high school, and they played the taps and for him and all that, it was amazing, and like mentioning other people everywhere on the streets, with their signs, their banners, their little American flags, it did mean a lot. It meant a lot because, the situation that he went through, but seeing the outpour of support from everybody from Laredo. Even here in a little town, we had a vigil. We had to leave because that's when we left to Virginia, but they still went along and did the vigil here.
A lot of support from everywhere. People from Austin, from Corpus, from San Antonio, from everywhere came, and I wasn't expecting everybody to be so nice and it was just beautiful, and thanks to everybody.
And the governor ordered all the flags in Texas that have mass for a couple of days in honor of your son.
Yes. That was something too. Yeah, we saw it and we heard about it, and we also got some stuff from him too that they sent to us from the Capitol. But yeah, it was great support. Like I said, even on the vigil, people were even talking because they did it live on Facebook. We actually got to see it from Virginia because we weren't here. And the thing that also we saw and noticed was there was all the forces out there. There was Navy, there was Army, not just Marines. They all came and they were paying their respects. It was beautiful.
The local ones too, like I don't know, like that they want to change like the street, Cielito Lindo. They want to do that in honor of him. Yeah. It's like it's a support like we didn't expect it. We didn't even knew from all the support we've been having It's just amazing.
And it goes back to the same thing, you know, is he was our son. You live in a small town, and you think, okay, yeah, he'll be remembered in this, just something simple, you know, and it was unreal, you know. How I know he deserves everything that happened, but it's amazing, you know, the support.
Several local schools in both districts held special events to honor David. His parents treasure each and every memento they've received and plan to proudly display them all.
Yeah, they gave us this one right here. I am sorry, I haven't put him up because we're waiting on something that we bought him to do. Yeah, but this is the one they gave us from United. Yes, so we're just waiting on, we're supposed to get it tomorrow and try to fix all his little corner we had for him.
The parents talked about how proud they are of all David's accomplishments.
He was just a great kid, you know. I mean, we never had trouble with him in school or nothing. He did everything, you know. He his parents were very proud of him because he did everything, you know. We expected, I think he even went beyond who we expected as parents from him. But other than that, I mean, we're just very proud of who he became and what he did with his life. Even though it was cut short, but very proud of him.
When asked if their other children decided to join the military, they had this to say.
It's so funny because I actually told him, like, what we went through, and I told him, if any of my kids would want to join, you know, we would have to be there for them and support them because that's their decision. It's, as parents, we have to support them. And it's just that you just brought it up, you know, because we did talk about that, you know. It was with, you know, it was a tragedy that happened, you know, but tragedies happen even here, you know. You could, like, I always use that example as a police, like, every day, you know, you don't know if, even us, as, you know, we could go out right now and, you know, all the accidents that have been happening and everything, so you really don't know, so might as well do what you really want to do in life and, you know, support them. That's what they wanted.
That's one thing, you know? Like she's mentioned, she even mentioned it in the past, is that eventually when the time came, when he was a junior in high school, that's when he started thinking more of going into the Marines. And one thing she's always mentioned, and it's so true, is you know, when he finally decided he was going to enlist and he was going to join them, we couldn't be against it, you know, and saying, no, we don't want you to get him, because he was going to do it. So in a way, it was like she's always said, so we wouldn't lose his son or lose, because he was going to do it. So we went in with him with his full support. So he knew that he, you know, his decision that he had made, we were still going to stand by, you know.
And we were always so proud of him, always. Everything he did, everything. Even his graduation from high school, everything, we've been so proud of him. When he graduated from the Marines, it was like, he shined like a penny, like, and we were so proud of him, everything. He always made us proud, always.
Yeah, we went to California and everything for his graduation.
The family expressed their gratitude for how supportive the Marines were throughout the entire ordeal. The Marines even delivered a cake to David's sister, whose birthday happened to fall on the day after David died.
Yes, even on that vigil, that because their kids stayed behind, the Marines showed up with gifts and a birthday cake.
To support her.
Yeah.
We did do a little birthday cake for her and everything that day, you know, but she felt, you know, that it wasn't like we weren't like the best parents at that moment, you know, to be there for her, you know, at that time. But we did get her a little cake, and we tried our best to do what we could as parents, and make it special for her. But I think that is something that's gonna stay with her, like on her birthday, it's her brother's anniversary in a way, kind of like, so I guess it's a little bit hard on her.
The experience has been very hard on the entire family, and David's parents are doing the best they can to help his siblings cope with the tragedy.
They're good. Like I said, we've always been open, so we talk to them and everything, and they've been doing okay. As a matter of fact, the following day, which was that Friday, even though we hardly slept, any of us, because the kids woke up and we talked to them and told them what happened and everything. And even that, I don't know, 4 in the morning, whatever time it was, we asked them, you don't have to go to school, you don't have to do, you stay home. And, being so young and everything, excuse me, they even said, no, we want to go to school, so we can get that distraction out of our minds. Because if we stay home, it might be hard. And they all said that. So they've been taking it pretty good. It hurts just like much as it hurts us. And we all have our little moments, still. And but we're there for each other. We talk about it and making sure that everybody's fine. So they've been doing good.
The parents talked about David's legacy and what they would like the community to remember about his ultimate sacrifice.
I really don't know what to say. I'm grateful for everything that they've done, supporting this. But I really don't know. Like I said, he was great. I loved him as my kid because I never had trouble with him. He did everything right, and just like the other ones. And so I really don't know. I just hope they remember him, because yes, he did. He fought for this country. He was, I guess, a true American. He did something that there's not too many of us, I include myself, that would do that. So I guess the biggest thing is hopefully he's never forgotten for his sacrifices.
He's a hero. He was so brave. He had just turned 19. He had just turned 20. So he turned 20 on July. So he was 20 and a month and a couple of days. And for him being so young and so brave and to be doing what he loved to do, I would love for him to be remembered for that, because it was an honor for him to serve. Like he loved it. Like I said, being so young, and being there, that's what he loved.
Every time we talked to him on the phone or FaceTime or whatever, he never once complained. He loved it. Like I've mentioned in the past, when he would call us and he'd say, I did this last week or the 2 weeks, all excited. Or if not, he'd come on and he'd say, the next month I'm learning this, and he's just full of excitement because he was actually doing what he loved.
Anything else you'd like to say?
Just like my wife said, thank everybody for the support that they've given us, and want to just not forget them for their sacrifice.